Hello, everybody.
What a wonderful day! What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to yet again another Koopa Goose episode. Where today,
Coop and the Goose.
today I believe I found a pretty up story. To be honest, it is a not safe for work story, and it is
Uh-oh.
titled "The Pancake Family."
Which doesn't sound like it would be NSFW.
Exactly, and just hearing that title, what do you think?
Okay, I think it's gonna be like this dude who is just making a bunch of pancakes, like literally, and force feeding them and making people like die from like gluttony and
Like
shit.
a what is it? Hansel and Gretel scenario.
Yeah, like a Hansel and Gretel thing. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. This is by A. Peterson. Do you wanna start it or do you want me to start it?
I say you start it
All right.
because you picked it.
This is fair. I'll take it. I'll take it. That pale, huh? Jesus. I bet I look like a ghost. I feel like I've bled out 2 gallons. What? No, not a scratch. Sorry to ramble. It's just that I'm what's the word for it? Detached. A
Hmm.
strange feeling. Seen it enough times in the field, sort of figured if I was ever going to experience it myself, then I would have experienced it by now. Hell of a thing. I feel like I'm floating outside my body. Just cut the cord and I'd float away. Did you see the crime scene? Don't. Don't look at the pictures. Don't even touch the files. You'll thank me. I can't get my knees to stop rattling. Is that why you're holding onto your coffee cup or your coffee like that? I'm shaking the table, aren't I? Hold on a second. Let me back up my chair. There. That's better. Interviewer. Wait.
Okay,
Okay.
I'll read the interviewer stuff because this is going to be the only time we're going to get quotes.
So is this guy getting okay, so is this guy getting like
I
interviewed
guess
right now?
interrogate. I guess he's getting
Interrogated?
interrogated. Yeah.
So I'm
Should I
confused
do
why
like a Black Ops? Like, what do the numbers mean?
that's up to you. But I'm confused. So is this all in his head right now? And what does he mean detached? This is very interesting. And
I would assume that detached isn't like dissociating, like out of
he's not all
trauma.
there.
Yeah, yeah. Like he's just like, um, just like I went through a whole lot of trauma. I'm not fully here, mentally. So
That's
yeah,
fair. That's fair.
that would be my guess.
So he went through a lot of shit, apparently.
Yeah, we just got to figure out what.
All right, you're the interviewer.
We've got to go official now. Uh, Hop. Oh, Hob. My bad.
Hob.
Hob. Can you confirm, for the record, that you've been waiving your right to an attorney?
No, I'm still interested in my attorney. I mean, yes, I'm waiving my rights. Sorry. And I'm as sound as mind as I'll ever be.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Let the record show that Detective Hobson Milgate, retired, has waived his right to an attorney.
I won't need a lawyer after the DA stops puking and considers taking it public. There's not there's not showing that to a jury.
They're not showing that to a jury.
They're not showing that to a journey. God
Are you
damn it.
ready? You're
They're
good.
not
You're
showing that to a jury.
good. What did you say? Journeys?
Journey.
Are you ready to begin?
No, but I'll talk anyway.
What?
Sorry.
No, no, you're good.
No, but I'll talk anyway.
Hold on 1 second. Okay. Ba-ba-ba. What led you to the crime scene on the night in question?
Would you believe I was planning a fishing trip before this started? Never mind. Hold on, I'm thinking. Hard to organize it. Never been on this side of an interrogation table before. I guess it started with the reporter. Name of Bamer? Is that right? Bamer?
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
Uh, she contacted me a week ago by email
About
and
a week ago.
she claimed she had new information on the Disc Roll murders. I was the lead investigator. The case had gone unsolved for 20 years, cold as ice. Frankly, I thought it was all bullshit at first. You know how that can be. Most of the time, it's not even on purpose. Everyone thinks they know something that will crack the case wide open. Theories are easy when you don't have to check them against evidence. The Discroll murders were a big story around these parts. Lots of interest. Lots of press. Over the years, I've must have gotten a couple hundred shit theories. When I retired, I handed the investigation over to Detective Coral.
Carol.
Carol? God damn, my grandma's name's Carol. I didn't even know that.
Coral.
Coral!
Coral.
Coral!
Coral.
But I didn't even want him to be bothered. I know he's busy with the recent gang activity. I figured I'd check it out as a courtesy. I wasn't expected it to go anywhere. I met her for lunch at per years coffee.
Yeah, I guess so. Per
Per
years, yeah.
years cafe. Good looking blonde gal, professional. So she didn't fit the typical profile of a hoaxer or conspiracy theorist.
But that's just a theory.
Shut the fuck
A murder theory.
up.
Thanks for watching. Sorry.
Not that I put too much faith in profiles. She also might have been one of those creepy gals that get off on death. God knows I've dealt with those too. Interesting. I still thought she might be pulling my leg. Maybe she had been fooled too. But she had a file with her. Looked legit. It contained what appeared to be a confession by the disc roll. Well, he wasn't a murderer, was he? I really do wish he had been, you know. It would have been so much better for everyone.
Can you please fill us in on relevant details of the Discroll case?
It would have been 20 years ago now, thinking of all those years. I mean, 20 goddamn years. That's a long time to be.
Take your time, Hob.
Oh, he had a long pause there, didn't he? Thanks. Clears. Oh. Clear throat. The Discrolls were a family of six out in the suburbs. Upper middle class father. Oh, upper middle class. The father was an attorney. Mother ran her own business selling pottery out of the house. Four
Pottery.
children, all high school age and below. Good kids. On a roll. No criminal records to speak of. The oldest son was caught smoking dope at
Oh,
his high
pottery.
school. Oh, but nothing much besides that. Just typical stuff you'd find when you look at people too closely. They disappeared October 13th, 1994. No
Nice.
trace was found of their bodies. The
You weren't
mystery,
even born yet.
same with you?
Nope, I was born. Nope, I lied. Nope, I was not born.
How old am I? No trace was found of their bodies. The mystery, and seeing as how it was right around Halloween, is probably why the press went so crazy. You still see it. You still see it show up on some of those unsolved mystery shows. A whole family disappeared and no one saw a thing. No one knew where they went. A neighbor logged a sound complaint, which is how we got involved. There was an alarm going off and they figured it might be an intruder or something. We just we dispatched a vehicle. When no one answered the door, the patrolman went in to investigate. Oh, there was obvious signs of a struggle in the youngest daughter's bedroom. The bed had been flipped over and the sheets were torn. The alarm was a carbon monoxide detector. We found elevated concentrations of carbon monoxide in the fabric. All wait, what? Can that is
Huh.
that possible?
I mean, yeah.
Is that a gas? That's a gas, right?
It, yes. I don't know how to describe it. I don't like. Obviously, it's poisonous. It's what comes out of the exhaust of your car.
Hear me out. This is a set place in Harry Potter land. And the car flew up to the window.
Oh, it started pouring.
They backed up to the window. Floor it!
Come on, Harry, let's go to Hogwarts. Not me, not Hermione, you. No, Ron, you can't.
All right. We found elevated concentration of carbon monoxide in the fabric of all the bedspread except the youngest daughters.
Oh.
I guess we should have read a little bit more.
Yeah, we should have literally read one more sentence. Interesting.
We wouldn't have known to look without the alarm. That's interesting. What do you mean there was carbon monoxide on the fabric?
Except for the daughters. Okay, so hear me out. This is my thought.
Okay.
He carbon monoxide, whoever the killer is, carbon monoxide poisoned everyone else except for the daughter and kidnapped the daughter. That's my guess.
That's honestly probably more logical, to be honest. What do you think he had? He had it in like a little fucking tanker and he put it up to their mouth?
I don't think you can have a tank of carbon monoxide.
The neighbor indicated the alarm had been sounded for over a day, and he'd been unable to get anyone to answer the door during that time. What'd you find out?
You can buy carbon monoxide. It's also shipped and stored in high pressure cylinder too. Okay, whatever. Well, hold on. That's AI or for you. It's some Google shit. But yes, it comes in many purities and concentrations.
So you can. So he probably
buy carbon monoxide. Yeah.
So he carboned the family except for the younger daughter.
I think so. Yeah.
Interesting. That is kind of fucked up, but interesting.
Yeah, we'll see how this goes.
Yeah. We also found several aluminum canisters and some hoses in the dumpster a few blocks.
Literally,
we got to start reading more before we
before we start. Yes. Okay. Well, now we know what they are.
Okay.
Because before I didn't know that you could get carbon monoxide.
We solved it before they.
I'm probably on a watch list now for Googling that.
I mean, you'll have that.
Yeah. Well.
Some hoses in the dumpster a few blocks away. At the time, we assumed the disc rolls had been gassed and disposed of at a different location, expecting. Of course, the daughter who woke up at the end and put up a struggle. Oh.
So literally what we thought.
Okay. Yeah, we're good investigators right there.
Hire us.
What? Oh, hire us. The investigation gave no leads. Of course, our first thoughts was that the father did it. We checked it out, but he didn't have a motive. No leads to follow up on. Same with the mother. Surviving family checked out clean too. The father had a few clients who might have had motives, but the means weren't there. He was a divorced He was a divorce lawyer, but not for anybody who could have taken out their entire family without leaving evidence.
Yeah.
There was a chemistry teacher who lived 3 blocks away, and we investigated him for a while because of the canisters, but he alibied out. Same with the dentist who lived nearby. The wife had an online filtration with some kid out of England, but nothing adulterous.
Adulterous, yeah.
Hey, I said it. And he wasn't even in the country at the time of the murder. Interesting. We settled. Unhappy and on the idea of a random killing. Hardest piece of shit to catch when there's no pattern like that. We must have sunk tens of thousands of man-hours into this case, chasing down the leads. Nothing ever came of any of it. We did track down the canisters. They were stolen from a laboratory 10 miles away.
Wow.
There were no security footage. We couldn't find any leads on the thief. After 6 months, with no repeat attacks, the investigation went cold.
It's wizards.
It's got to be.
No trace. They just said Accio carbon monoxide. My Harry Potter fans will appreciate what I just said there.
The scrolls had been knocked out and abducted. Like I said, no one ever found the bodies. Who was to say they hadn't just run off?
Hmm.
Until, well, I'd rather only talk about that once.
What can you tell us about how the confession wound up with Miss Bamer?
She'd been following the case for some years, both personal and as a reporter. Like I said, it captured the
Yeah.
imagination of a lot of people. Even seemingly normal folks thought it could have been aliens, ghosts, or demons. Miss Balmer published a retrospective on the murder given the 20-year anniversary. It caused a renewed interest, which happened for time to time. As usual, I declined to comment the citing lack of new evidence. I remember her asking for my quote, though, which is why I accepted the lunch meeting. After publication of the article, Miss Balmer claimed that she had been sent a file. She wished to have me authenticate. The most pertinent part of the file was a confession. I assured Miss Balmer that such false documents are not uncommon, especially in older cases like this. It's that I personally heard 24 confessions of the Discroll murders.
Wow.
She was insistent. Once I felt she wasn't trying to pull off a hoax or get off on the idea of talking about a murder, I agreed to the meeting. She stated the confessions had been mailed to her in the same envelope she showed me when we met for lunch.
Can you describe its contents?
Old newspaper clippings outlining the progress of my investigation. They seemed appropriately yellowed, so I guess they were from the trophy book of the perpetrator. There were also 6 photos alleging to be the individual members of the Discroll family, as well as several other photos of the faculty where they had been taken. Look at it. Look at that. My hand won't stop shaking. See? I'm trying so hard as I can, and I just can't make it happen. I haven't. I have to ask the paramedic for a sedative. That's right?
Sedative.
Sedative when I'm done with the statement. I don't think I'd be able to sleep otherwise. No, I'm fine for now. I don't want anything to infer with my recollection for the recording. Just carry it around in my head is like, sorry, I'll stay focused. Okay, is this like him talking to us?
I think it might be him kind of talking to himself, but maybe he's in such like a manic state, he's just saying shit as it pops into his head.
I was gonna say it seems like he's very fucking like out of it in a way. He's like
Yeah.
drugged up almost. Photos were of the Discrolls family, of course. At the time, I didn't know that the photos had been aged poorly and they could have been of anyone. It was very hard to distinguish features. However, given the elaborate nature of the file, I figured it did warrant a further look. As to the confession letter, well, it was brief. It gave an address. That's the first thing I noticed. I
Hmm.
couldn't locate the address online, which meant it had to be old. The confession letter said, "Stop printing lies. I never killed anybody. I just took a while. It just took a while to get them ready for breakfast." There was no signature.
Huh?
Time
To
the
get
fuck
them
out.
ready for breakfast?
What? What do you, okay. So this story is in between. I'm the MC and you're the investigator right now. Is where we're
Yeah.
at. So this guy, it seems like he's highly medicated. So something really fucked up happened.
I don't think he's highly medicated. I think he just, I'm sure it'll kind of get into it, but I think he just went through something pretty traumatic, like right before
Mm.
all this.
That's why
And
I guess that's why
that's,
he's in the
yeah,
deal.
that's why he's in there, because he's like making a report.
That's fucked. No, what the fuck, dude? That's a wild
Oh,
sentence.
wait, hold on. Okay. I'll set my camera defocused.
That's a wild sentence. This like the confession letter. Literally, imagine 20 years later, you read this about the case you've been fucking trying to
Yeah,
solve.
that's like stayed in your head for 20
Stop
years.
printing lies. I never killed anybody. It just took a while to get them ready for breakfast.
What the fuck does that even mean? Well,
I
I kind of saw ahead already, so I see we're going to get some context. So,
I just remembered something. God damn it. We got sent a breakfast menu a month after the disappearance. Someone had drawn a red circle around a picture of pancakes. The letter said, "They're not dead. They're getting ready for breakfast." We put it in the junk lead files. Oh, God.
Detective Milgate, do you need a moment?
Oh, God. Oh, yeah. I thought. uh, I. How could I have known? We tried to track down the menu. We could never find out where it had come from. It wasn't. It wasn't any place local. The identifying information had been cut out. I don't know what else we could have done. I
It
just,
was a Denny's.
dear,
It's always a Denny's.
the fuck is up, Denny's? I just, dear God. Okay, I just want to say I apologize for that middle section there for my slack of ability to read. As soon as I went to this camera, easy on the eyes. So
Yeah,
anyone
that's
who's
what it was.
still here
That's it.
after
Yeah.
that, I'm so
Yeah.
glad.
Yeah.
Okay, I just, dear God.
Why did you decide to personally investigate the location mentioned in the letter?
Sorry, I wanted to make sure it wasn't a hoax. I still wasn't convinced. I've had 20 years of people sending me fake evidence. I guess maybe the case captured my imagination too. I always figured one day I'd think of something I'd overlooked and solve the whole thing. Felt unbelievable to have someone dump the answer on my lap. I needed to see with my own two eyes. Miss Balmer had pinpointed the location with city records, but neither of us was sure if it was still there. It was an abandoned in oh god, it was a abandoned industrial building. That's industrial, right?
Mm-hmm.
The last time I had valid mailing address was 50 years ago. It might have caved in for all we know. I think I also wanted to be the one to crack it. Whether or not it was dumped in my lap. That case was hung over my head for 20 years. Miss Balmer and I agreed to meet there the following morning.
Can you describe the crime scene?
Yes, it was an industrial building, as I stated, approximately 120 feet long, but maybe 45 feet wide. It was a wooden structure, and at first, the conditions seemed to match neighboring buildings. However, I noticed the facade had been recently patched in a few locations. Further investigations also revealed that the entrance had been chained and locked. My understanding was that it used to be a sheet metal shop. At least, excuse me, is there a garbage can? I might vomit. Thank you. Is that how you gag? Is that the gag? We sorry.
We.
Okay.
Sorry.
I might vomit. Thank you. Sorry. I thought it was empty. No. I want to get this done with. Then I'm going to want the sedative. I could smell something from the inside of the building, very faint. I figured that would count as probable cause. Not that I need it as a civilian, but you never forget the way a corpse smells. Oh, God.
Yeah.
We're going in. They were bad enough. They had the same smell. I hadn't forgotten how to pick the lock, so I let myself inside. You know, I really do wish they had been corpses. Oh, what? I really do wish it had been a serial killer. I really do. Please say you believe me.
I do. Can you describe the interior of the building?
I'm trying to focus through this. I really am sorry. I'm sorry. Oh, I really am. I'm sorry. It's just that I'd like to go to sleep after this for a long time. Is the paramedic here? Is this sedative ready? Thank goodness. The warehouse had not been as abandoned as we were previously led to believe. The interior had half hallway with 6 rooms. The constructions was old but visible, newer than the rest of the buildings. The walls between each room had been soundproofed. There were no windows in the outside or doorways between the rooms themselves. The only access was through the hallway. I tried to make Miss Balmer leave at this point. You see, the smell was stronger inside. You could feel it, the smell, like a grit, like like a grit getting stuck to your nose, like bits of sand all over your skin. The rooms, the rooms contained presses, oh,
Hydraulic
hydraulic
presses.
presses,
My bad.
no, you're good, 4 foot by 8 foot custom presses. Oh God, it could.
Genius.
I couldn't figure out what they were at first because they were hovering over what looked like hospital beds. Oh God, I know where this is going. There was an IV bag in each room, as well as other medical equipment. That's how he kept them alive for so long. Of course, I think I might be seeing black spots.
Do you need to take a break?
The idea of having to start this again is worse than the idea of finishing it.
Then please describe your next course of action.
The building was obviously an active crime scene. I had no doubt at this point I was in the lair of what believed to be a serial killer. I tried to tell Miss Balmer to leave several times. She refused on the grounds that it would not be right to leave me on my own. There wasn't much time to make an issue of it. My opinion of her was that she was a bit nosy, but basically all right. Didn't think she'd be a liability if she stayed out of the way. I had to make a judgment call as to whether or not I should proceed on my own in the case. The families were somewhere, somehow, impossibly, still alive and perhaps in danger, or if I should leave and call for backup. I had told my wife where I was going previously, so I knew my absence would be noticed and reported if the worst happened. Neither of us could get cell reception. Sorry, I'm rambling. Uh, it was then that I heard not even a gasp. It was like a gasp, but not really. I don't want to describe it any more than that. There was a sound, it drew my attention further on. I had to act. That's all that matters. There was some stairs at the far end of the warehouse descending into the basement. I told Miss Balmer to remain behind and pulling my service revolver. I had a flashlight on my person as well. And turned it on as I descended into the basement. The basement had been hand dug, maybe
Wow.
over. Oh God, that is actually kind of impressive to be honest. I guess with the shovel. I wonder if he means like human dug or like actual hand.
Well, because like all basements are human made, but but it was very like
Caveman.
DIY. I
Okay,
think.
yeah, that's fair. That's
Yeah.
fair. That's fair. The basement hand dug. Maybe even over the course of an entire 20-year disappearance. I don't know. The floor was dirt, and there was a tunnel that retreated back far enough that it had to be supported with struts at regular intervals. When my flashlight first illuminated the stank, I wish they'd been dead. Oh God. I wish he'd been a serial killer.
Please take a moment.
After I after I recovered, my first thought was, thank God they're all dead. I'm six. I'm 64 years old, for Christ's sake. I'm not a young man who can forget these things. When you're young, you have this sense that you're invincible and that you're never going to die. I don't have that protect. I don't have that to protect me anymore. Look at me whining when they had that done to them. It was my fault. I should have found him, saved him somehow.
I'm sorry, Hob. I've got to ask. Can you describe the scene?
Yeah, but I can. I didn't know what I was looking at first. Hell, I still don't. It was, well, it was a stank. Maybe 2 feet thick from the stink and coloring. It was obviously made of flesh. Wait, what the fuck?
Okay, all right.
Hang on a
Oh
minute.
God, Cooper's actually gonna get sick.
No.
Uh, I'm not
So
gonna.
the stank, and it was colored with what was obviously made of flesh. I thought maybe he'd hacked them up and stacked them up in pieces. That would have been bad enough. The first thing that alerted me to the truth was the eyeball. On the top of the stack
Oh
was a
my
perfectly round
God.
eyeball in the middle of a socket that had been distorted to the size of a saucer. That's when I realized what I was looking at. Oh no.
No fucking way. He turned them into actual fucking pancakes. It puts the syrup on the skin or it gets the hose again.
20 goddamn years of torture, basically. He'd been, he had the entire Discworld family under those presses for 20 years, keeping them alive with an IV drop, increasing the pressure on them so very slowly that their bodies had time to adapt until they'd been flattened like pancakes.
Jesus Christ.
Is that even
Jesus
fucking
Christ.
possible? No.
Fuck no. Fuck no. Ain't no way in hell.
He squished them by about a quarter of an inch every year for 20 years. Then he'd pull them out when they were too broken and wrenched to move without any chance to recovery and stack them on top of each other. I've got no idea what for. I don't want to know. And I was still thinking, thank God they're all dead. When the one on top started gasping again?
What did they say?
Nothing at first. It couldn't speak without help. I think it would have been a very it would have been Avery.
Avery.
It would have been Avery to scroll. Not that I could tell much about the gender or the age, but the hair was blonde where there was hair. The head was a mess of scars. I think the son of a bitch who did this must have removed parts of their skull. I've got no idea how he got their head so flat. Otherwise, not as flat as the rest of the bodies, but flat. Who the hell knows how their brains handled that? The lips were punctured by teeth everywhere. After the presses had flattened their noses, I guess. Avery was 14 when he disappeared. I stopped shaking. God damn weird the way our bodies worked, isn't it? What else? There was a machine, a sort of pump. Oh god, this is the fucking syrup, I bet. I followed the hose with my flashlight and I realized everyone was stacked was hooked up to the pump. I don't think they could breathe on their own.
Okay.
You see, not after a while, there simply wasn't enough volume for their lungs to inflate. There was some sort of opening cut right into each of their chest. There was a switch on the pump. I don't know why I pressed it. It was a panic. I wanted to do something. Maybe some stupid part of me thought it would switch it on. They would inflate and be okay.
Jesus Christ.
I switched it.
Fucking Bugs Bunny ass.
I switched it. It increased the volume of the air to the topmost hose. I could hear the pump working harder, which is when Avery Discroll started screaming. Uh-oh.
Jesus.
He begged me to kill him. He said other things too. He didn't make sense. Kept yelling, "Band of error," over and over again. Uh, Something about the family too. Didn't understand it. Oh, something about the family too. Didn't understand it. He was in pain, and I would hope he had gone insane several years previously.
Oh my God.
My thoughts exactly. I don't know what to do. He wouldn't stop screaming. I believe he was convinced that it was his torturer. A closer look at his eye revealed that it was mostly a mess of white scar tissue. He was as blind as a bat. You know, I spoke with some burn victims once. They told me that they managed to find meaning in the purpose again after a while. I don't know how anyone in the Scroll family could have done that. I stated my name and I told him I was a detective. I told him I was here to help. I repeated it over and over again, knowing, of course, there was nothing that anyone, anywhere, could do to help. Miss Balmer arrived, drawn by the sound. Before she saw the stack of, Before she saw the stack, she told me that I heard screaming and she had come to help, but I do not remember having done so. Nevertheless, she arrived. Then she saw the stack and screamed, but I was intent on Avery Driscoll. He was able to hear. He became lucid for a few moments. It was a strain to understand what he'd said, but I will never be able to forget it. Please kill me. It hurts. I don't want to be a monster. Please kill me and tell my family I died a long time ago. I don't know if they're still looking for me. Don't let them know what happened to me. Please kill me.
Wow.
That's fucked
That is
up.
insane.
So, I guess he was knocked out. So they all must have been like
Yeah.
somewhat separate. Were they all
Yeah.
in separate rooms? I don't remember if I read
It
that.
sounds like where all the presses were, they were all kept together, but sedated
I
and
guess,
like
yeah.
just slowly squeezed into.
Damn, that's
I
fucked.
okay. I did not expect it to be like a literal form of the humans becoming pancakes. That I would have never seen.
Yeah,
And
I
it's
didn't really see
like
that before.
kind of in my head, and it's kind of fucking me up.
Yeah,
It's kind of messing with
kind of
me.
nasty a little bit, to be honest. It's
Yeah,
just a
it's
bunch.
gross.
It's pretty much just a bunch of fucking skin.
Yeah, it's
Ah,
like have you seen that one narwhal movie or wall Tusk? It's like that, but pancakes.
yeah. Oh,
That's what's
yeah,
in my head.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. Tusk.
I've never actually seen Tusk, but I know of the the what happens.
I
So
know their friend. His friends were like, the best thing we could do is just take him to a zoo. Oh,
yeah, so I know it's like kind of a comedy movie, but
it's so fucked. Oh, he could still cry, and he did, although his tear ducts were too deformed for it to even be noticeable. Oh god, I should have forced Miss Balmer to leave. That's the only action in the matter which I regret more than failing to solve the case 20 years ago. Not just for her own sake, but for what she did next. I don't think she could have wounded them any more deeply if she tried. She took away the last comfort any of them on the stack had. Ooh, what's she about to do? You
Huh.
see, they had not been able to speak for two. Oh, you see, they had not been able to speak to one another for 20 years, she said. That's all of them, isn't it? That's the entire Discrawl family. They're all alive in there. The whole family. For 20 years. Each member of the Discrawl family had been unaware their fellow inmates were their own members of their own family. They'd been holding on to hope that their family was okay. All of
Hmm.
them dreaming someone out of their loved out there loved them and was free from suffering. Oh, that's fucked to think about. Holy
Yeah,
shit.
yeah.
That's wild.
Because when Avery was like, "Tell my family I died a long time ago," I was like, "Well, obviously he doesn't know," you
Yeah.
know?
So that and then the way she described it there, that's even more fucked.
Yeah.
It sounded like the gates of hell swung open.
I think that's enough, Detective Milgate.
Not yet. I was It was my mistake. I should have tried harder. Tracked down that lead. Maybe that's what they meant. Screaming that. Uh, it was my error, so it was my responsibility. I shot them. Mercy is hard, but I owed it to them. I am the one that failed to save them. It only took one bullet to go all the way through. I emptied my revolver, though, to make sure they didn't linger. To give them that final piece.
Jesus.
It was the only kindness I had to give them. We left and called for backup after that. Neither Miss Balmer nor I wished to remain with the bodies. I elected not to follow the crime scene investigators back into the basement. I asked if I could make my statement and leave. After one of them saw what I had seen, they agreed. May I have my sedative now?
Yes. Yes, of course.
Thank you. Please show the paramedics. I'll roll up my sleeves. My wife has diabetes, so I am well aware of my routine. Oh, I and please make sure you have the same courtesy available for Miss Balmer. She seemed to have it worse than me. After poor woman couldn't even throw up or cry.
Of course. Do you know where she is now? She told the lead at the crime scene that she was going home, but we haven't been able to reach her.
Did you try the paper?
Which paper?
The Daily World.
Are you sure? There is no one by the last name of Bomber on staff with the Daily World.
Oh shit!
The fucking killer, the
Oh
killer took him to them.
no, that's fucked.
That's
Oh,
insane.
that was so fucked. Whoa! Holy shit! I was wondering. I was like, okay, why can't she couldn't throw up or cry? That's kind of weird.
Yeah, yeah. It's yeah. It like having the context now looking back is weird. Yeah,
Holy fuck! That's awesome.
that's incredible.
What a nice twist.
Yeah, that's insane. I see the first comment is, "Bet that lady was pissed. No one came to breakfast for 20 years. She invited you and everything."
Yo, this one comment. Oh, they were saying her last name,
Oh,
not Bane of Error.
not Bane of Error. So, okay, okay.
What is the?
So, I guess wait, hold on. They were saying her last name.
Oh, no one's last name was Balmer. It was her first name, Balmer Bane.
Yeah, but Bomber's not even her real first name.
Oh, it's not.
So they were saying her last name, not Bane of Error. Huh. I don't know.
Just one
I don't
comment.
know. She would have still, or she, fuck, would have to give the same name to them and the detective. Call me crazy, but the detective is the only one that knew the woman, and the other witnesses are now dead. Who could the murderer be lying? He could be the murderer and be lying about her existence. I don't think so.
No, I mean I understand. Like, yeah, right here, this person, he is the murderer. He shot and killed them. They were
Yeah.
alive before he showed up.
Yeah, so well, well,
He could have
well.
taken them. He could have taken her, but then that doesn't.
Maybe he really did it and now he's making this whole thing up about like to make himself sound innocent.
That's
That
true.
could be it. That could be it.
She also came to where that he was claiming that he had screamed when he had no recollection of doing so. I think she wanted to see his reaction in the moment. Also,
Yeah.
I think she did. She did it because I think that's. I think she did it. That's. I'm gonna die on that hill.
And then somebody said, but if she was the one who did it, why would she lead a cop down there? And he's in the. This guy says, I mean, why make pancakes if no one's going to appreciate the work?
That was a good story. I give it a
Yeah.
7. 7 out of 10.
Wait, hold on. Nobody's mentioning the fact that she was young. No way she did the whole thing by herself. There are more people involved. Um,
I guess yeah. If it happened 20
are we
fucking years
all?
ago.
Are we all really? All we really have by the way of description is good-looking blonde gal professional. I think we were supposed to be tricked into assuming that she was young, so we wouldn't suspect her.
That's fair.
Somebody said, "Good point, detective."
But what do you give it? I gave it what did I give it? A 6? A 7. I gave it a 7.
Oh, I'm gonna give it a 7 too.
Yeah.
I'm going to
Short, sweet, but it was
7 for
pancakes.
me. Yeah, 7 for me.
Fucking pancakes, brother.
That is wild. That is
that
insane.
that is funny though. Fucking
Like that's gonna
pancakes.
mess with me, dude. Like
That is
actually,
wild.
and I don't get like messed up too much, like by anything, but that is gonna stick with me.
I mean,
So,
yeah, they were turned into pancakes. Like that was like it's like a joke horror, but
but yeah, like the way it was described,
the
like I
way it was
can picture it
described
in my head. Yeah.
and the fact that the guy, his literal, the fucking Avery's quote was fucking wild. Please kill me and tell my family I died a long time ago. I don't know if they're still looking for me. Don't let them know what happened to me. Please kill me. That was fucked.
Yeah. It's messed up, man. The story is wild.
If y'all enjoyed, hit that like, subscribe, comment down what you'd like us to read next. We will consider reading your guys' suggestions.
Yeah, let us know what you thought about the story. Kind of keep some conversation going on after. And make sure to check out scissor.com. Again, we've got some cool merch, and eventually we're going to have some merch for the channel as well on that website. So please keep an eye out for it and check it out.
Hit that notification bell so you don't miss another one or miss
And
any news.
and also check out the story. Link in the description.
Yep, link is in the description below.
Show them love.
A.A. Peterson, you did a good job.
Yeah,
All
great
right.
story.
Talk to you later.
Bye.